Back to White Mountains today about 9:20 on this Tuesday morning, and I'm joined in studio now by Craig and Allie of Kine Ski Area. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Chris.
A great family vacation week in the Mount Washington Valley, and no ski area knows how to do it better for families than Kine. We're going to talk about lots of things, but let's talk, Craig, first about skiing in general. If someone is looking to get into the sport of skiing or looking to get their kids into the sport of skiing, what makes Kine a great place to do it?
I mean, number one, I think we have a great group of people down there. We have an awful lot of fun with it. We've had a staff that, I've been there for 26 years, and
Wow.
I've got a lot of, the ski school staff has been there an equal amount of time. We have a lot of young, new faces, but we have a lot of veterans as well. So it's a great mix. The people in the rental shop know what they're doing. It's all the way through the place. Lift operators are very attentive and stick with keeping people safely getting on and off the lift. So it's an inviting atmosphere. It takes the stress away from your early ski experiences, and just an easy place to go for the day and have some fun. So
the kids, I forgot to introduce the third member of our crew here. That's Powder Bear in the background, if people are wondering. The official mascot of Purity Spring Resort in Kine Ski Area. Powder Bear's hanging out with us for the morning. And we have to get him back to the slopes because he is a powder bear and it's kind of warm in studio, so he probably wants to get back out in the snow.
He can ski, he can snowboard, he does all sorts of things out there.
So he's a lot of fun. The kids will see him out and about at Kine. But you guys are obviously doing something right, because the Kennett High School ski team just won the state title.
That's
for
right.
How many consecutive years? And a lot of the skiers who are skiing it come from the Kine. The Kine race team and grow up at Kine, which to some people, who if you know Kine, it's a family resort. It's not the biggest mountain, but you guys are really creating great skiers.
We have a lot of very talented and motivated local kids that have come through our various programs, seasonal programs. It starts with knee high, it goes up through team ski and the race team program. And we've just been, I think, lucky to have some kids that really love it. They stick with it. And you go on and do great things, and that's exciting for us to see. We like to claim our alums as the kids that have come through the program and are on to the more advanced teams now. But we're operating at the highest level, at parts of our program. So that's exciting to see.
And I'm seeing some of these kids, I'm getting old now, because I'm seeing some of these kids grow up before my eyes. The big name right now at Kennett is Torin La Liberté, who I know grew up at Kine. He just won, I think, the overall men's, boys, I'm not sure what you say at the high school level.
It's boys for high school.
Boys state title. And he used to call in the show to play watch and win all the time. Yeah. I'd go to Kine, he'd be hanging out there skiing and riding, want to get on the video for the next Kine ad, and now he's a state champion.
Torin is definitely a Kine kid. He was on the race team for many years, and as he got into high school, he sort of switched over to Nordic skiing. Really found a passion there and took the skills that you develop. They can take you any number of different places, and he certainly developed his. I believe he's also the ski meister this year. Which combines the alpine skiing as well as as your Nordic skiing. He's very dominant on the Nordic side. Clearly, without training as much on alpine, that has slipped. But he can still do it. You watch him ski; he hasn't forgotten how.
Absolutely, and of course, you can practice both of those things at Kine, because when you buy an alpine lift ticket, cross-country skiing and ice skating are actually included in your ticket. You guys have a great resort there.
Right. And you look at the the boys' side of the state meet in the giant slalom. Danny Nash, it was an Eaton kid, and he was this GS champion. Tyler Eldridge and Jake Remick and Kurt Neeler were the other scorers for the Kennett School, and all those guys are current members of the Mount Washington Valley team, which does a great job, training in the older groups.
Yep.
But they're all Kine alums, and we're proud to say that they came through us.
So what age we're talking about kids who are going on to racing careers now, but even for someone who just aspires to be a good recreational skier, at what age should parents get their kids into lessons?
The knee-high program starts at 4 years old. We do private lessons for 3-year-olds, and you can certainly that's a viable time to start in a private lesson. But for group lessons, 4 to 6 years old is the traditional knee-high age range, and we can do a lot. Those guys, when you learn to ski as a 4 or 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, it's an instinct at that point. It's like riding a bike. Those guys learn it at a real deep level, and if you can build good habits and good skills at that age, it never leaves you. There's no limit. So we work on basic skills, basic movement and concepts, and the whole idea is that these are skills without limits. So you don't have to unlearn anything to become really good or great. It's just the limit of how much the kids want to stay involved and do their thing.
That's awesome. And it's a great place. It's a great hill for learning these skills. You guys have great terrain. My family spent the day there yesterday. My son was all excited. He skied a black diamond. He's 5 years old. And the 2-year-old was going up and down the magic carpet. You guys have a great magic carpet beginners area.
We've put a lot of effort over the years into developing the what we call the Learning Center. And we have a magic carpet, we have a toe lift, and then we have a chair lift. And each service is very gentle terrain. Each provides a slight bump in terms of difficulty and transition up to the next level. So they just, stepwise, it's an easy facility. It's always sunny and there's never any wind.
Yep. Well, actually, that was the case yesterday. They called King Pine. They said, how's the weather? They said, there's really not much wind down here. It was really windy everywhere yesterday, but they went to King Pine and said it was not even really a factor.
Obviously it does get windy, but we are sheltered from westerly, northwesterly, the prevailing strong winds. We are quite sheltered from that. So unless you get an east wind, which is unusual, we don't typically get much wind, and we're lucky. It's easy. The lifts run quickly, and we do have a fairly sunny exposure, so it's a pleasant place to be when it's cold every place else.
Powder Bear, you hanging in there? It's getting warm in here. We need to get you back on the snow, not only because you need the snow, but because you've got a lot to do this week. There are great activities all week long. It's King Pine Winter Carnival week. Allie, I keep wanting to call you Ashley for some reason. Allie, tell us a little bit about this week. Why are people going to have fun at King Pine?
This week we have fireworks on Thursday.
Wow.
And there's a bonfire as well, and that starts at 9:20. We have a couple different races going on too. We have the silly slalom race and the belly bag race.
That's one of the nice things about King Pine. You just go there, and you always seem to have activities going on that the families can get involved in. Not just the kids, not just the adults, but everybody can kind of partake in. It makes it a lot of fun. And I guess you also have night skiing going on this week, right?
We do.
So if people can't get enough during the day, or actually if you want a great value, I know you have a great deal for night skiing.
Yep. The Moonlight Family 4-pack, it's $54.
$54?
For a family of 4.
You really can't beat that.
No.
And that gets you in King Pine. I know you have a lot of lit terrain. So, and in addition to alpine skiing, we should mention that if you have an alpine ski pass, you can do other activities there as well.
Yep. We have cross country, snowshoeing, ice skating.
In a Zamboni dome.
Yep.
That's pretty unique. And I think my family this weekend might make the trip down to King Pine for some tubing. How does tubing work?
We have a tubing park off to the side. There's a lift, so you sit in your tube, it pulls you up the hill. It's a ton of fun. There's 3 lanes. The guys will spin you if you want to get spin. And it can be pretty popular. It's worth calling ahead to make sure there's tickets available.
Absolutely, and you can also get more information on this at kingpine.com. I think we'll take you right there. The nice thing about King Pine also, it's in the middle of Purity Spring Resort, so you've got lodging options right there. You've got Autobahn, beautiful wilderness settings surrounding you in Purity Lake, so you can actually make a vacation of it. Just plant yourself right there and never have to leave.
At the high school girls state championships, a bunch of people came and skied with us that live in the area because their kids are on the team. There's a lot of kids from all the different ski areas on the teams, And one of the dads, a guy I know, hadn't skied at King Pine in like 20 years, and he came down and he said, "You know what I love about this place? It's the trees.
Yeah.
They're huge pine trees. It's just a majestic kind of a setting." And so it was very interesting to hear the perspective on it. But so, right, it sits on about 1,500 acres of land, and there's a lake across the street that's very active in the summertime, and it's a very nice setting. But the Traditions restaurant is right there on the property, as far as an evening goes. The tavern overlooks the slope, so you can watch your kids go by, and it's a nice. There's kind of something for everybody, and people have fun with it.
Perfect. All right, we're out of time. We could talk forever about King Pine, but if you want more information, you go to kingpine.com. Is there a number to call? What's the best phone number to reach?
The main resort number is 367-8896, and then they can connect you to the guest services desk. Does all the bookings for ski school and tubing and lift tickets and that sort of thing.
All right. Allie, Craig, and of course Powder Bear from King Pine Ski Area at Purity Spring Resort. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to find King Pine, it's just like 15 minutes down the road from Conway, New Hampshire. You just drive 153 out of Conway Village, and it takes you. It's a beautiful drive too, around lakes and around lots of cool little forests. One of those great country roads. Okay, we are out of time. We'll be right back with the end of our White Mountains Today show.